Hey all, Isaac here, and you know what I love more than video games? The free market. In fact, I just invested some cryptocurrencies recently. Other than having a dated joke, I'm going to talk about something that still holds the test of time. The original Microsoft Xbox. Oh, Xbox. You big, clunky, ugly, awesome box. You were Microsoft's first step into gaming, and what a disappointment you could have been. But you weren't. You were spectacular, and powerful, and home to some of the greatest games of all time. You gave us some weird and creative games that no one ever heard of, and blockbusters that spawned multi-million-dollar franchises. So I'm gonna look at some. A Star Wars game is a first and third-person shooter? What could go wrong? Nothing really. This game is actually pretty amazing. Developer Pandemic expertly crafted maps and battlegrounds near and dear to Star Wars fans, stuffed them heavy of heavily armed vehicles, and added a bunch of characters. Although it may have borrowed many concepts from EA's Battlefield series at the time, EA rebooted the series 11 years later, and from what I've played of the 2015 Battlefront, it's pretty good. But the original is pretty good also. And we don't even talk about the thou who shall not be named. Fable has everything. With incredible depth in the characters, open-ended gameplay, and a solid story, it's just amazing. Although the main quest is short, there's plenty of other side missions. But honestly, they get pretty old after a while. I don't want to look after your cat, Sprinkles, Angela. No one does. Anywho, watching your hero, or villain, grow up and develop gives you a connection to them that many other games just can't offer. Killer robots and lasers? Sounds like a great 80s anime, but this isn't a video of the top 8 neon animes from the 80s, is it? No. Mecha Salt for the Xbox is unlike a lot of other giant robot games. It isn't the slow, tactical, walking tank battle game. Mecha Salt is instead fast, fun, and relatively simple to control. Piloting battle mech through open landscapes with fully destructible cities, it's honestly the ultimate cool robots blowing up stuff with lasers video game. The graphics haven't aged that well by today's standards, but overall, the gameplay, decent story, and fun missions completely overshadow that one flaw. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is a great game, and an alright movie. With the ability to rewind time, this game really stood out, and that gameplay element is still implemented in some games in recent years. Looking at you, Life is Strange. Not only that, but impressive parkour by the character and an excellent story. Yes, it's a romantic love story, but it isn't all about damsels in distress and princesses in other castles. Psychonauts is an adorably mischievous and eccentric game. It's an absolute joy to play, thanks to its comical brilliance of the dialogue and fun psychic powers you acquire while playing. Not only that, but the levels are creatively original. If you like trying out great games that failed to make any impact in the charts when it was released, make sure you check out Psychonauts. Set about 1,000 years before the Star Wars films, Knights of the Old Republic gives you the chance to finally explore the Star Wars galaxy as an amnesiac. Like No Man's Sky. Wait, you don't remember that game? Yeah, no one does. Anywho, you travel from planet to planet, completing quests, and having intense lightsaber battles. Honestly, KOTOR, yes, that's the acronym, is awesome on every level. An engaging storyline, interesting characters, and enticing RPG elements. With a game built not only on this, but also a ton of side quests, cool outfits, upgradable dark and light force powers, you have an RPG masterpiece. And it puts every other Star Wars game to shame. Except for one. Two 2001's Halo was a phenomenal and revolutionary game, but in all honesty, it didn't age that great. But if you look back on the sci-fi shooter, it simply excels in so many categories that it's hard to even explain. The action is illustrious, constant, and a breeze to master. At the time, Halo's control scheme was the most intuitive a console FPS had ever been, a major step ahead from GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. Not only that, but the visuals and music really proved the capabilities of this new console. Also, this engrossing story really pulls you in and immerses the player into the mystical world of Halo. Okay, you ready? You ready? The original Halo may have single-handedly sold the majority of Xbox consoles, but its sequel was the game that truly defined the big black box.
Oh my, you can't have two games of the same series, what are you, stupid?
Okay. Number one, it's my list, so I can do whatever I want. And two, it's just a great game. The overall gameplay was refined. There was a plethora of new features introduced, like vehicle jacking, dual weapon wielding, and the infamous energy sword. Another great surprise was that you were able to play as a Covenant soldier, which makes the overall story unexpectedly complex and in a more equivocal direction. On top of that, the graphics were enhanced. Plus, Halo 2's multiplayer is what will be remembered forever. Previously, you need to connect up multiple Xboxes to multiple TVs to have 16-player matches out of small little college dorms. In 2002, though, Xbox Live was released, unleashing online multiplayer upon the entire world. Xbox Live is one of the reasons that made Halo 2, well, Halo 2, the epitome of a great sequel. It's not only that this game is just so amazing, but as one of the first games that I remember beating, Halo 2 is just breathtaking. Well, that was some of the greatest games that were on the Microsoft Xbox. Bye-bye! Wow! Get out of here, scrub.